Today I'm going to show you how to season cookware to give it some non-stick properties. And before me here I have a couple of woks that are made from mild steel, and also a cast iron cooking pan and a Dutch oven which is solid cast iron, which doesn't have any enamel on it. Now the seasoning process is very simple, but it's also very important, especially if you're using a wok. Now these woks come with a surface coating on them to prevent them from rusting. So the first thing you need to do is to give it a good wash in hot soapy water. An elderly Chinese gentleman I spoke to in a store where I actually bought this, and I asked him how to season the wok, or what his family does. He said, well, my grandmother, which would have put us somewhere between the Ming Dynasty and Mao Zedong, she used to boil up tea leaves in it, and somebody else came across to the conversation and said that their grandmother and parents always used Chinese vegetables to boil them up in here to get rid of that metallic taste, and that's the way they cleaned them. But by far the best way is to season it with oil and to heat it under high heat. And what happens then is that your wok, which looks like this originally, becomes something like this. And you can see this is quite black. I've used this for quite a few years now, and its non-stick properties are getting better and better as I use it. You can apply the oil to both the front and the back of it, and I've already done it to this particular camp oven here. And so I've used this quite a number of times and it works perfectly well. This pan here is cast iron, and you'll notice that it's enamel on part of it to give it a decorative look. And so now I'll show you how to season this wok, because all the other ones have previously been done, and how to season them in the oven at the right sort of temperatures for proper use. This wok is just a relatively small one. This is a spatula that goes with it. But you know, a wok like this, plus a spatula, will cost you less than $20. So very economical. Great to use if you've got a gas burner stove. So, just to demonstrate this, this has already been pre-washed. And I've just got some vegetable oil here, but you can also use animal fats like lard or bacon fat, which works quite well. But this is either canola oil or vegetable oil, and we'll give it a liberal coating. Just brush it on liberally. And I wouldn't use a spray oil, because you really need to work the oil with the brush into the small pores that are in the metal. And when it's in the oven, the metal expands and the oil just fills up the little hollows that are created under the expansion process. Now I'll do the handles as well, like that. And the bottom you can do, but I won't for this demonstration. Now if you put too much oil in there, just dab in a bit of paper towel to take up the excess. Now if I go back to the cast iron pan here, there's a bit missing there. Now when you do the same to this cast iron pan and put it in a hot oven, there could be a bit of a problem, because the enamel coating expands at a different rate from the cast iron metal. So it's best to put these in an oven cold and then crank up the temperature and just let it cool in the oven, and then it's ready to use afterwards. The temperature there, well, there are various thoughts about what the right temperature is, but if you set it at 180 degrees for about 2 to 3 hours would be fine. You can also put it into a much higher temperature. I did with this wok here. I put it in the oven at high temperature, for example 240 degrees or so, for about half an hour. But the oil started to burn and there was a lot of smoke in the kitchen. It did the job, but it may be best, considering what I've just said, just to put it in the oven at about 180 for about 2 hours or a little bit more. Now when it comes, put it in upside down over the top of some foil, because you will find that the oil will become more viscous as it heats up in the oven, and it will drip a little bit. So put something underneath it when you put it in the oven. Remember, put it into a cold oven, turn it up to the appropriate temperature and let it cool down in the oven as well. The cast iron pan here is great to use. The only disadvantage really is that the handle gets hot and it's a bit heavy on the arms. But it's a great cooking appliance because the very even heat distribution, it retains its heat very well and never lets you down. It'll last you for years and years. Once your cast iron pan or your wok has been seasoned in the oven and it's cooled down, you may find that it's got slightly tacky to the touch. Well, that doesn't matter, that's quite normal. As you continue to use it, it'll lose that tackiness and it'll increase its non-stick properties. The other thing to note is when you're actually washing out your wok or your pan, just use hot water and a nylon brush is fine. Some mild detergent would be good, but no strong abrasives. If you do find that it loses its non-stick properties over time, well, you can re-season it and do the whole process again. And it's very simple to maintain, and they get better with age.